I was a teenager when I began to explore spiritual traditions, and I began to question the traditional religion as I had been taught as a Christian. And so for me, I wanted to expand that idea of spirit and idea of that all paths are equal. And somehow I was very, very drawn to Indian culture at that time, and yoga. And at that time, yoga wasn't really a mainstream, trendy thing in the Western world. I'm that old, so it was something a bit mystical, and not so many people talked about it. So I just found I explored all kinds of books, and actually I created my own yoga program, asanas and pranayama, breathing and meditation. And actually that program has been with me ever since. I still practice a special, quite short, maybe half an hour asana program with some breathing exercises. But for me, it has combined with a lot of other things that I have explored later on in my life about spirituality. And I'm not so deep into yogic philosophy and the Eastern traditions as they have been taught originally. However, I have come across with I would say the same teachings, but more from the Western esoteric teachings called ancient wisdom teachings, and but they are all founded on that Eastern tradition. So for me, it all comes together. So also Christianity from a more esoteric perspective, where I believe that it is all based on, they all are united. The Eastern, the Western, ancient Egyptian esoteric teachings. I'm very interested in that as well, and have been exploring that. So for me, the essence is actually what I could call union, divine union. So as Dinesh already mentioned, that it's a union of self and divine. And so even if we don't call it yoga, we could call it anything. But the essence is really for me that there is no separation, that when we really unite the body, we unite it with the heart, the mind, the soul, the spirit, then we are practicing yoga, or yoga is a way to unite all these different aspects of self. There are many other ways to do it as well. So there are many names, there are many paths. But for me, yoga gives a way to really come into the body. So really honoring the body, because I'm more maybe coming from the spiritual perspective. So for me, it's important that I combine it with the body, so that the body is sacred as well. The body is divine. And that has been for me a very strong realization over the years, that truly being spiritual or practicing anything related to spirituality is not about going away from the body or going away from the material world. It's more like bringing the spirit down into the material world, into the body, through all the layers of being. And that has been really a huge realization for me. So the journey for me has been more like coming from the higher realms back into the body and honoring that, honoring the earth, honoring Mother Earth and all that, all aspects of nature as sacred, as divine. And also the breath, the breathing is for me a way to really bring all these different aspects unified together, just as Sachin so beautifully guided us to unify these different aspects. So, and especially today, in today's world where we are in a crisis, and on the other hand, this is a huge transformation that has been offered to us to really bring back those higher values, heart values, unity consciousness, shared consciousness into this material world. We cannot escape it. We can't deny it and say, okay, I'm here with my spirit and the world is bad. But we have really have to bring that spirit into each and every aspect of our society and institutions and money, and making money sacred, because that is also a neutral thing. We just have to make it sacred by
Yeah,
loving